Oh, finally, I am here. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. How are you guys doing? I hope you are awake. First, let me post. I forgot to get the link though. How do I need to go to my own channel on my phone. Wait for me. I'm gonna wait for you. I made a mistake. Wait, did I make it to? No, I didn't make it. Huh? Is it public? Did I make it public? Okay. Can somebody write something so that I would know that it's public? 5 likes, so it should be live, right? Like there's a tricky setting on YouTube that I have to choose like public or private. Okay, now I see people. So, okay. I'm gonna, let me, wait for me. Like I'm not ready today. Did you guys hear my song? Anatava Live Desk. Good. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Yoko is here. I am here. Ohio. Yoko looks elegant and 21. Forever 21. Thank you. Ohio. How's Ohio looking, by the way? Ramaswamy is running for the governor, right? When is that? Well, let me tweet. Not tweet. Post. Let me make a post. I edited my my face. Whenever I post something, like my photo, I have to make it like beautiful. Because I'm aging. I'm so aging. I have more gray hair than before. Like, when did that happen, I'm live on YouTube. Come say hi. Okay. Tweeted. Posted. I'm such a grandma. I never learn. How are you guys doing? She has great hair. Thank you. Not gray hair. Great hair, right? Yoko-sama, genki desu yo ne? Yes, I am. Greetings from the land of the living sky. Hello. Unfortunately, I don't have newspapers today. I only have. This is from Saturday. Like we don't have today's. Like we go buy newspaper. We're not subscribed, so this is from yesterday. I haven't read it. Oh, here it says Trump senpai. Trump senpai dissatisfied about Japan-U.S. security treaty. Really? And it's I posted about this though, and people are like Japanese people. It's the way that how Trump senpai does things. He says he shakes everybody, right? Like says all this crazy commentary, like gives crazy commentary to shake things up to negotiate, like shaking, with words is his tactic, right? To upset people. Just shake. What's gonna happen? Okay, this is the ground, like foundation. Let's negotiate, right? That's what he does. So Japan is not. Unfortunately, we're not excluded, but we know our prime minister actually. I think I need to translate that. Like I saw a post of a video. Oh, thank you for your super chat. I'm gonna get to it. Like I saw the national diet footage of our prime minister, speaking, and he was saying that Trump was like this before too, but basically Japanese people, like it's not only him, but our recognition is that we need to look into his actions instead of his words, because verbally Trump does all these crazy things. It's his tactic. It's a madman theory, right? So, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your super chat. Hey, Yoko. Unfortunately, I can't stay because it's too late here. I'm sorry, but I'll catch the playback. I hope you have a good live stream. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm late, but I am so thankful for your super chat. Thank you, and I hope you sleep well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way, so the past few days I was recording my voice, like it's not past few days, it's a day and a half, I think, like singing because I didn't have the time to practice. I just recorded, so like it sounds awful, but just had to make it quickly because you never know what's gonna happen politically. So like I needed to do it really fast. But anyway, when I'm singing, I have to like in order to create this amazing space in your mouth, right? You have to use your facial muscles so much so that I realized that my face is fat. I realized like I've always had a round face, but I realized like no, this is fat. Like when I move my muscles, it's like get in the way. It's heavy. My right side especially is really fat. But anyway. So that's why, because of that, like I use a lot of muscles on my face. So that's why I'm very facially expressive today. Don't mind me, just from singing. When it comes to going gray, no one's beat. And I did Tulsi. Oh yeah, Tulsi. She's got that one streak of silver hair, making her look like that anime nine-tailed kitsune. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I do recognize her because of her hairstyle. That's the way to go. Like, can you see? Like I have like mini. So I was like just putting on makeup earlier, and I thought like, oh, maybe I should just dye my hair like all white. Yeah. I mean, that would be bleaching though, right? Zelensky pissed off both Trump and Vance. Yeah. I mean, I was looking into it, like, and an expert here was pointing out that, like, this nobody knows, nobody can read those people's minds, but like this one person was saying here in Japan that Zelensky, no, Vance just, Vance was the beginning, like he talked about diplomacy, and then Zelensky shouldn't have get into it, but he did talk about diplomacy. So when you look at it, it started from the topic, started from Vance. But why did Vance say that? Because there were some signals, that Trump was receiving. And Vance, according to the expert here, Vance detected that signal from Trump. Like there was something about him that, Trump was not satisfied with where Zelensky was going. So then Vance said those things for Trump. That was the analysis. So that was interesting because I feel like that's the case. Like he just said things for Trump, and then things happened. Yeah, Trump is doing great. I hope Trump visit Yasukuni Shrine this time. That would be great. Even George W. Bush, like the son Bush, he wanted to, like he was open to the idea of visiting Yasukuni Shrine. Like Yasukuni Shrine, for those who don't know, is like the Arlington Cemetery to Americans. Yasukuni Shrine is just a shrine, and it's not a graveyard, but there are spirits there. Like we believe that there are spirits there of those who fought for our country. Whenever our politicians, like parliament members, go visit Yasukuni Shrine, China and even South Korea complain all the time. South Korea today, I don't know how they would react now because they know that our friendship is important for their own, survival. But China always complains because their standpoint consists of bashing Japan, like anti-Japan foundation is important for China's nationality, like a nationalistic way of thinking. So like they always complain, but Bush was open to visit here, but our foreign ministry was not open for it because China and South Korea would get angry about it. So like yeah, it's actually our fault. So let's see. Japan is one of our true allies. Yeah, I'm so thankful to hear that. Like whenever I post something negative about our like alliance, like because of Trump's remarks, you know, it happened because it's politics. It happens, and but I believe that my role is to let you know like what kind of discourse is happening in Japan, like what people are saying. Like it's not a matter of whether I believe it or not. When I post something, it doesn't mean that I fully support it. I'm just introducing what kind of things people are talking about here, so that based on that you can decide your policies and decisions, like all kinds of decisions politically. So I'm trying to offer that. Oh, super chat, thank you. Kon-ichi Yoko. Kon-ichi? Ichikome? Ichi? I'm confused, but thank you. Koncha. Where was I? Do you like Elon? I do personally, but politically, like on a personal level, I like him, of course. Like I admire him, like he's of course very, very successful. He's the living American dream. And also I really love his ambitions to go to Mars. And so I don't like the idea actually that like humans are supposed to be on the Earth, and I don't like expand. Like I'm not a fan of expansion. He's going to the universe. I mean, to the space. So I'm like, part of me is like, but at the same time, like his ambition and his this great attachment to grow or develop technology and so forth. That is something you need for your country, so it's amazing. But on a political level, I don't know. Like I guess that's suspicious because he's such a businessman that businessmen are great at handling things, but at the same time, politics has this unique culture, like just like how Vance was saying things in the Oval Office, for example, like from like what's the word, patriotic conservative people, Vance did great. But on a diplomatic level, if you look at it, some people will oppose to that because it's a politics. Like if it's just a discourse, it's perfect. What he did was perfect for standing up for his own country, protecting his leader, and blah blah blah. But when you look at this political nature, it often has different values and also standards. So that's why it's tricky, I think. And even Elon Musk, I don't know what to think about him actually, because it has just begun. The administration has just begun 2 months ago, though, right? Huh? It's already March, right? I'm not keeping up with time in Japan, or like from October to December, it rapidly, like the time just goes faster, quicker, and I think this season is set to be like just to be gone. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Nagasaki champon. Yes, I know Nagasaki champon. There's one in the walking distance. I didn't like it when I was growing up But now, because I'm an adult, I actually like it. I don't go often though. As a white American, I really want Trump to visit Afghanistan. Oh yeah, I read that, right? Even people in rural conservative US areas get upset about how mean he can be. Really? They're not used to having to do that in small towns. Oh, that is so true. Because everybody is family, right? Like it's a really close relationships that they have. They're used to being nice. People with a thick skin can't handle him. That's so interesting. Like we are like, oh, right? Same in Japan. Same in Japan. Like Japan has a culture of that sort of area. Like throughout Japan, even in cities, big cities, people are not that like arrogant or anything. So yeah, such a different culture. Oh, super chat, thank you so much. よこ先輩、そう出発します。遅いので、あらららららららら。悲しい。でもありがとうございます。Thank you so much. もう遅いよね。そうだよね。すいません。すいません。I came home too late. Thank you. And have a good night though. Or if you're leaving or what I don't know the occasion, but yeah. Didn't the director of Yasukuni? Yeah, Yase? Have dialogue with Pope John Paul II and got Catholic absolution for the crimes which may have been committed by them during their life. I have no idea. I don't know. Do I know? It doesn't ring a bell. Lots been happening this week, right? And for me, I was absent for a few days online, like I was making a song. And then I'm like super left behind. I didn't even check the news, so I know that Trump senpai made a speech though. It should be here. Oh, Trump's tariff. Canada, Mexico. Some people are upset though that Americans do have to pay for the tariff. What was that speech? I feel like, wasn't it this one? Was it the day before? When was that? I don't even know when that was. See, I am not sorry, but if you have questions, I'll answer with just. Oh, is that it? Oh, this one. This one. Trump senpai. Yep. Front page. Trump. I know it's mirrored. People are complaining now that it's mirrored. My because I'm using the in camera. But Trump emphasized going after the national interests of America. You should have the full. My husband showed me earlier that there is the full speech somewhere. I think this was it. Oh yeah, here. I just want to show you because isn't it cool that your leader's speech is like reported in another country? Japan, of course, is a strong ally of the US, but still, we are another country, Ta-da! There's a picture. Make America great again. Then Trump senpai said the speech, or so that the summer, it says like important points, but basically it's all, oh, beautiful picture. Do you see that? See, this is all Trump senpai's words. Oh, there's some English too here. What does it say? I was saved by God to make America great again. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Oh, and there's Rubio. Rubio is very popular. I know you don't like him for him being a neocon, but Japan likes him because he has a good understanding about East Asian politics and history. So yeah, it's I don't I should know what he said though, like the important points and so on. Other side, other side is big too. You see the picture. Yeah, it's great though. Like whatever he is saying, like this is great, of course. But like on a daily basis, when Trump makes commentaries, people react just by the words. But at the same time, though, because he shakes things up, finally, European countries, including the UK, they were depending on Biden administration before, but now they're more active. Like they know that, like they have to do it, they have to engage more. So that's good. Like I'm seeing a shift. And what's interesting for me is the shift of the UK, especially, that they're showing more leadership now. And it's a great move for me because, in my understanding, like for Japan, for example, our country works better, of course. Like when you look at history, the alliance with the UK is very important. So yeah, so it's good that, and also UK has like they're shifting their strategy to come to the Indo-Pacific area as well. So more, there will be more cooperation. So that's good. Let's see. Hello, make America great again. Yay! When America is great again, I believe that Japan will do better. But our concern, like a lot of Japanese people do have concerns that America, like I see posts on X, people saying a little exaggerating the situation, but some people are seeing it in a way that the teams, like when you look at the world, until now, it used to be, the picture used to be authoritarian countries versus the free world, continuing from the Cold War era. So that's the picture that I was seeing in Japan. Like that's the picture that Japanese people see all the time. Like that's our perspective, similar to European countries or liberals in the US, right? Like we are the free world and our enemies are the authoritarian regimes, right? That's the picture we were seeing. But Trump is such a neutral guy. Like Trump truly cares about America's interests. So what that means, of course, is like it's less about continuing. This is my personal take, but I guess that Trump thinks that like it's not really about the political standards and so on. Like he really truly cares about what he can do for his country. So in order to make that happen, he wants to create friends, and he wants to make friends with those who can work with, right? And Putin knows how to communicate with Trump. Zelensky is still dragging our former premise and so on, and I feel like we are looking at different pictures, and Japanese people are seeing those things. Japanese people are some people are saying like, oh, the picture might change. Like, what if it would be like BRICS plus America and us with China? So like, it's BRICS still. BRICS includes China, but like, yeah, that picture. I guess there's two versions that I saw on post. Like, it's just a private post, so you don't have to take it seriously, but. Yeah, one, so like America joining on the side of BRICS, and also another is like because America is kind of changing with Trump, At least like that's what people think. And so let's say that America is changing, and then Japan with different standards, would have to be with China. That would be so weird because that is not realistic because China does not follow our standards. But you know what I mean, right? Like Japanese people, some people are just looking at it in like that sort of like we are becoming creative about how to look at the world. How do you guys look at the world? Because I understand that your domestic issues for Americans, like you guys have to like just put things back in order, right? But when it comes to diplomacy, I don't know. Oh, by the way, super chat will be prioritized. First time I've ever seen a Japanese newspaper. Really? Oh, I'm your first. Funny that you get daily paper news, by the way, quite rare here. Really? It's great because it has the articles that I don't have, like I wouldn't be introduced to online. My husband's, like my husband talked me into it. He has so much knowledge. He's read a lot of books and he checks like liberal people and other kinds of people as well in order to deepen his perspective. And newspaper, according to him, has articles that you wouldn't normally see online, and you have to know that sort of like different things too. So yeah, it's really helpful. Like people often say, like I used to believe that too, that mainstream media, man. But at least like it's interesting, because this is what I do too. Like I just give you different perspectives so that you can look at things from different perspectives, and when you do that, you can look at it in a different way. Like let's see this ball. If you look at this way, this is all you see. But when you look at from this side, then you realize like, oh, it's actually this shape, right? So like that's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, do I see a super chat? Super chat, thank you so much. I only just saw your post on X and got here. Yay! Just renewed my passport to visit Japan for the first time since 1981. Really? Cool. You're coming here? That's so cool to visit Japan. Oh, and it's gonna be the first time. Oh, since 1981. Oh, nice. Japan has changed a lot in the meantime. I mean, even my local area, they have this crazy construction, like in the city, because they're I live in Fukuoka prefecture. Fukuoka, right? Like in the 1, 2, 3, 4 main islands, and I'm on the southern island called Kyushu. There's Fukuoka, and in Fukuoka, there's Fukuoka City that is big, and inside that, the two main parts, Hakata and Tenjin, are very big. And Tenjin has this like a project called Tenjin Big Bang. It's Big Bang, so they destroyed. Destroy is a big word, but like they just what's the word for that though? They destroyed those buildings, and just beginning from the from the ground zero, and yeah, it's exciting. Oh, the sentence was in the middle, I guess. To need to, and you sent it. Thank you so much for super chat. Yeah. トランプさん、アメリカ カの国民のことを考えてここをしているので、アメリカのトランプさんが何とかしてくれるアメリカだと思います。そのことでみんながこのそうですね。そう思いますよ。そう。Hello, York. Fox be with you. Fox be with you. I need a fox now then. I see my stuffed animal, my doggy, and my bird, Shubil stork, making out there. I should put it that way. Demolished, tore down. Oh, tore down. Demolished works as well. Yeah. Japan and the US are good for each other long term. Both parties benefit. Yeah, I agree. But some people, when I shared our news, just like I showed you earlier, that Trump is dissatisfied with our treaty. It's according to him, it's one-sided. It's actually not one-sided because we do give money for America to stay here. It's not like we are begging, but because of the historical backgrounds, we're just thoughtful. It's called thoughtful, thoughtful budget, basically, I think. And we give money so that they can sustain, And for America, it's really beneficial to have bases here, Basically, inside their base, it's America. So they just have places here, and it's great to monitor countries around this region. And and they're doing that for their national interests. America gets things out of this situation, so it's not one-sided. I don't have to say it, you understand it, right? But Trump says that sort of things to shake things up. So Japanese people, like this one in particular, Tsuneyasu Takeda, the great grandson of Meiji Emperor, is actually an author. Does he teach at university? He's an author. He has lots of businesses, and he's a really famous and such a critic, But he said on X, I should translate that too, but he said, we need one more sentence, like one step forward. We want Trump to say that, Japan needs to strengthen, or Japan needs to have military forces officially or something like that. I don't exactly remember what he said, but yeah, there was some stepping more to say that we usually don't like internal what's the word, intervention, domestic. I'm forgetting English. We don't like it when we are intervened from outside usually, but when it comes to national security, which you need to work with other countries, we like it. We want other countries to say Japan needs military forces, or Japan needs to revise our constitution. The stuff like that is something that, of course, we need to decide by our own, but we have been struggling for decades now. And for stuff like that, we do need some outer pressure. I missed visiting Kyushu last time and would like to go. Oh, cool. And there were very few foreigners in Japan when I was there. But still, Fukuoka area is we don't have many foreigners, every day, on social media, people talk about tourists and foreigners, but I live every day. I go to grocery stores, I take a walk at the park and so on. No, all Japanese people. Maybe Korean people in disguise of Japanese people, but it's I don't usually see. Sometimes I do see, but yeah. it's definitely more foreigners here because we have exchange students. There's this university locally that I actually know that person kind of. Like my friend is teaching there. Like actually two friends are teaching at the university. But the university is so business based so that they invite foreigners. And I don't know about that university in particular, but when usually private universities when they don't do well business wise, like not many students applying and so on, then for the entrance, then they invite foreign exchange students, and if you do that, then you get aids, like a subsides, like you get money from government or something like that. Like whether it's government or locally, I don't know how it works, but yeah, that happens. So it's a loophole basically. So that's really terrible. They're using foreign exchange students. Speaking of foreign students, exchange students, I saw the news about like anti-Israel thing in America. The foreign students, they're gonna send them back. Like what? I just heard it from my husband. I should look it up. Let's see. 反イスラエル留学生 It's foreign students, right? Ooh. He's gonna he's gonna send them back. Anti-Israel people. That's what do you guys think about that? I was actually watching Fox News a little bit before, like when I was getting ready, and I listened to Mark Levine. I was listening, like I couldn't finish that video, but he was explaining the aspect that those protesters, like anti-Israel protesters, they are violent. And when I heard that, I associated that with BLM. Like I never ever, praise BLM. Like I've never sided with BLM because they were so violent. When you hear like, oh, send those exchange students back home, when you hear that, you think about, oh, freedom of speech though, right? And especially in America, like if it's China or North Korea, then I would understand. But America, it's still foreign exchange students. But right, like you think about stuff like that. But then when I realized that those protesters can be very dangerous, harmful, especially if they are in your country to learn, like they're supposed to be studying and they're protesting. Like even like I'm so glad that when I was young, when I was a student, it's important, of course, to have interest in society and so on. But I knew my ignorance, like I wanted to learn about society more. I wanted to read, like I was trying to read the news, but it didn't make sense to me. Like I didn't have background knowledge, so I didn't know what the newspaper was saying and so on. So like that's why it took another decade or so to understand politics. But back then I just didn't know how things work because I was so young and immature. But then I knew that about me, like objectively. So I was never stubborn when it comes to political things. Like I used to say, like I never understand politics. Politics is not for me, and blah blah blah, right? I used to say that, and but when I look at those those students at Ivy League and so on, I guess that those people are proud to be smart, and so they don't know the knowledge of being ignorant. So yeah. As an American, I understand not liking the annoying prank streamers. Oh, streamers, yeah, there's some streamers in Japan. At this point, I think it's fair for Japan to have standing military rather than just a defense force. Yeah, thank you for saying that. What's your view of Japanese corporate culture? To me, it seems old school overall. Inefficient effort is renewed rather than efficient results. Also heard you still use actual stamps. Oh yes, we do. It's I mean, we are digitizing it though. Yeah. Yeah, our working environment is interesting. It does have points, but let's see. Losing American bases in Japan would cripple American military projection in the Pacific region. Yeah. Like when America becomes absent, then other countries will grow. So that wouldn't, even though, like, as for Trump, I think that, like, let's say, is it called Paris Accord? Is it the term? Like, he withdrew from that, right? But that's because it's not efficient. Like even I think that, like, as for environment, China and India should be more responsible in the first place, rather than like we are, like, Japan or America or European countries, like we are doing well, but like in India, I just saw a video footage on X the other day. Maybe it's not typical, but like it was on a train and the trash can, those like train people were throwing things off the train as it goes by. I'm like, what is happening? It's like they don't think about the environments like we do. So then, like, why would you want to be part of it and give money to that and so on? Yeah. Anyway. Let's see, subsides, subsidies, sub. There's actually a lot of Kurdish infighting. They don't like foreigners or to know about. They are pretty fierce about it. You can't mix them. Or the PKK were hated by the Peshmerga. Yeah, Kurdish problem is in that region. I've never seen Kurdish people. I don't think I've ever seen Kurdish people. Yeah, but whenever I talk about like immigrants and so on in Japan, people with strong concerns will say things, randomly. But like I do think that immigrants can be such a problem, Like I'm a patriotic person, and I also want the majority of Japan to be Japanese, but at the same time, Japan culturally is a diverse. Like we have a diverse culture, and when I say that like that, some people misunderstand it. Like they don't get where I'm coming from. But if you ask any like conservative people, not right wings, but conservative people, if you ask Japanese conservative people, they will say that, oh, we are proud of our tolerant culture. Tolerance is our culture. So like, yeah. But the ratio, man, it's the ratio. It's the percentage that matters. Let's see. Super chat will be prioritized, just so you know. 女子革命いいですね。No one seems to listen when Trump speaks softly, but when he calls people out, they tend to listen. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah. But Trump is so interesting though, like, because I know that he's a good person, good-hearted person. You know why? Because it's rumored here, even in Japan, that Trump gets influenced by the last person he spoke to. So one day he'll be on this side, and the next day, he will be siding with another person, Like that happens. Like he, of course, cares about his national interests. That's the biggest thing. But still, like he does get influenced by people he speaks to. That's the impression that I have. And what that tells me is that he's a good person. He's a listener. Like people pay attention when he is speaking one-sidedly. But I know that he does listen. And the way that he interacts with children too, it's his own children too, but like little children, that visit the office and so on. Like situations like that will reveal how people are, like their genuine self will show. Like you can't fake it when children are around, right? But Trump he knows how to communicate instead of sniffing and so on. Speaking of which, speaking of Democrats, I saw a post on X, like Japanese post, that in Japan, of course, like we are another country, so like our standards and backgrounds are different again, right? So I guess our values are similar to European countries. So with that, when we look at America, like Trump administration, like even people on the right side can be kind of critical, right, about how like Trump's approaches. But what's interesting is that somebody wrote here, like some random account was writing that it's interesting because even though Trump is attacked like this, we never hear that, oh, it should have been Harris. Kamala Harris. We never hear that, right? Like, oh, I wish Kamala Harris was the president. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Isn't that interesting? Like how bad can she be? Oh, Super Chat, thank you so much. Yoko, may you live long in the great health. Cheers. Thank you. It's so great. I'm feeling great today. You know why? Because I was creative. I don't know if you would like that song, but I made a song based on my husband's book. And it's not really about Ukraine. It's about just Russia's colonization. I'm also a human rights activist. I fight the colonization and expansion by China and Russia. I used to work for Chinese issues, but now Russia is in my picture as well because they, partner up too. So like, oh, we should do that too. So yeah, I do that, and I realized like I love creating music. Like singing is hard. I suck at singing, and I'm embarrassing myself. But like music is like puzzle to me, so it's so fun to see like, oh, this part I should put this here, or this here, and I enjoy that process. And I actually stayed up today until like 7 in the morning and woke up at noon. But usually when I do that by mistake, because of work and so on, like writing articles and so on, I get like exhausted. But today I'm awesome. And probably because it's all about emotions, and that's so interesting. Our body is so, it reacts in different ways, even though a stimulation should be the same, like ultra stimulation, or you're staying up late and you're damaging your body or health that way. I did the same thing, but just different things, But then my body reacts in total different ways. So interesting. Anyway, subsitize. I like it when you guys teach me how to pronounce. Western Australia just had an election. Oh, really? Suddenly Labour won. What? That's bad. But are they? Oh, is that Labour Party? Are they like when it comes to national security? Do you think that they will change? Or I actually know nothing about Australian politics, to be honest. Australia is such an important country? I should know. Hi from Orlando, Florida. Florida. Just got an hour closer to your outdated time, outdated time change an hour ago. Oh, you have to change your clock? It's so weird. It's so weird Americans do that. Yeah. Florida. I like the state name Florida. Japanese, some nerds in Japan, like those who watch live streams, sometimes we will say Florida. What that means is that it actually stands for furo ridatsu. Furo means bath, to take a bath, and ridatsu to be a part, like AFK, like ridatsu, like to go off. So furo ridatsu, Florida. So it's an internet slang, like Florida, like, oh, I'm gonna Florida. Japanese people are so silly. Yeah. Russia is a different issue than China, in my opinion. Some people may not understand it, but the US is more committed to our Pacific allies for several reasons, trade rather than Eastern Europe. Like China, I mean, when it comes to China, China is aiming for the world hegemony. So America, like right now, America is the biggest, the strongest, the most powerful country in the world, but China is coming to compete you. And so that's really threatful. And also China is the factory of the world though. So what makes it difficult to deal with China is that we're all like infected with their virus, basically, like economic virus, like we can't just cut them off because we are soaked into their system so much that we can't live without them. I think the great grandson of Meiji Emperor, Mr. Takeda, I think he used to say that China is like is like a drug, like it's good, but it's good, but it actually like poison you. So yeah, that's how I see. But when I look at all this expansion and colonization, though, like I do that to weaken our enemies. Like I look at China and Russia as enemies. China, of course, they are. We have territorial disputes, and they are They want to expand to the Pacific Ocean, even to the south too. Like they have built bases in the South China Sea, and I think they're aiming for East China, stuff like that. And so like we want to stop that because if you look at the world map, China, let's say China is here from here, probably like this, and then Japan is here, let's say that direction. Right? So that China is here, this is the Pacific Ocean, they want to go outside, right, to the Pacific Ocean, they want to conquer here, but then Japan is in the way when you look up from China, so they want to take over here and then go to the Pacific Ocean. They openly say that. Yeah. So that is our problem. Like healthy trades and so on would be good. But even their trade, it's not but what I do is actually, for example, I'm a human rights activist. But why do I do that? As for China, because as I said, they're trying to expand to the Pacific Ocean side, to Japanese side. So if I support Tibetans, Uyghurs, for example, East Turkestan, they're on the other side. So if they have some protests or riots or some, disputes, battles, like they're conquered now, but like if those countries could get independent, then China will be busy fighting that. no country likes to go multiple fronts, right? So they're gonna be busy over there. So then that's good for Japan. So then I'm gonna support them, right? Same for Russia. Russia has been illegally occupying Japan's northern territories, and it's illegal. It's really illegal, and we haven't signed a peace treaty after the World War II. We're just enemies, It's just dragging and dragging. I wish that Trump would just end that, like just go away, Russia. But then other countries, Chechens and Tatars and all these nation states, they are having the same issues. Some countries, of course, have gone worse, and their language and everything were stolen. Their lives were stolen, but yeah, so they have like common understanding, common interests. So if I support them, then like we are fighting for the common enemy. So then that's good for Japan. So that's the standpoint. Like I do talk about human rights, but of course it matters too. Like as I do these activities, I care. Like my emotions and my heart, grew for them, the victims and everything. Like I genuinely care about those people, because it's so ridiculous when you think about it. Like it's like justice. I want to believe in justice, but that's not the case when you look at history, and it's so like, it's so awful. But when I do my political activities, I am actually working strategically for Japan's interests. So I'm not blinded by all this like, oh, this is a nice thing to do and so on. Like there's no word in me, like politically speaking, I don't care about being nice or whatever. I care about my country's national interests. So if I am nice as a result, then that's awesome. But you know what I mean. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Preventing China's access to Taiwan's semiconductors is a much easier sell to Americans. Oh yeah, 90% if you look at the like really advanced technology. Then Ukraine strategically. Trump's mineral proposal gives the U.S. a stake in the peace plan. Do you think that Trump actually cares about the minerals? Like, I thought like it's a great idea coming from the Ukrainian side. They started to say that, oh, there are resources there, so that's a great approach. However, at the same time, like I heard our expert, one person though, saying that Trump rather talks about those resources in Ukraine to basically, like if I may paraphrase the words, basically to justify himself in a way. Like he's speaking with those claims about resources. Trump is making it possible to attract his supporters, because he was saying like, oh, I'm gonna end the war in 24 hours. That was his. That was what he was saying when he ran for the election. Now it's longer, like half a year, right? And then now he's negotiating now, and it's so hard. And I don't know. I heard that, and I can't tell. I can't tell, which like it doesn't matter though. But yeah. Senkaku Shoto, yes. Those island name. Senkaku is the name of the islands. Yeah. But yeah, I get a little threatened though when Americans talk about semiconductors. Like, because Taiwan is not only about that. Like, it's not a symbol of that. Like Taiwan is rather like what Abe used to say, Shinzo Abe used to say, is that the Taiwan's emergency is Japan's emergency. Because when Taiwan, like we can't just let it happen, But China though, they are having military exercise. Or is it? do you say military in that sense too? In in the oceans, they're having exercises. Their navy is doing that, right? So they always say like, oh, it's an exercise, it's just they're just doing it to practice. But you never know when it's the real time. Like, it's like, oh, another exercise. Oh, another exercise. One day it will be like, bam. It's today we mean it. It could happen. It's so scary. But yeah, never, ever, ever let China grow even bigger. But it's, as I said, the issue I think is very complex because inside China, it's everything is controlled and like they have this amazing surveillance system. So like we don't get to hear what's actually inside China. But I hear experts talking about how bad the economy is in China, and young people are like sleeping to sabotage and so on, and they can't get into because the competition is really tough. They can't, like, it's creating the bad cycle, and also the population is declining. That's more like Japan's population is often talked about, but I feel like China's decline of population is more threatening, I think, because how can you sustain that many people with like fewer people? People don't even get married now. Like really young people in China are not interested in that. Even in China, I thought that, yeah, I guess it was like when I was growing up, I learned that in China people are riding on bicycles, and that was on the test in my school. And now they grew so much that I sometimes forget that how advanced they are. Like, of course, it probably depends on the region, but yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. America culturally care for Japan. Not all allies are treated the same. There is also a great strategic benefit to our partnership. It's not all business. We do like the Japanese. That matters. That's great to hear. Thank you so much for letting me know. Because we, like Japanese people, when we look at the world news, how other countries, like Ukraine, for example, how they are, what they are going through, we get cautious, So, yeah, but that's good to hear. But we really I know that we all know, like starting from Obama too, that we knew that America cannot sustain going everywhere in the world and so on. So like I remember this expert here in Japan talking about that like over a decade ago, exactly like a decade ago, I think, that America is not an Ultraman, that America cannot come save us was what he used to say, and how situation is getting like it's not looking good, for allies like us, and basically he was saying that to probably it's partially factual, but at the same time, it's like how when you look at things realistically, like Japan needs to strengthen our military. So, but at least our like Abe administration and also Kishida administration. Kishida used to work for Abe. In Abe's cabinet, our former Prime Minister Kishida used to work as a foreign minister. And he was, of course, appointed by Shinzo Abe, because Shinzo Abe knew Kishida would be good. And Kishida was an amazing prime minister. There are some, I believe that there are some like espionage or some manipulation online, I think, that like the internet trolls just kept bashing Kishida enough to manipulate the people here so that he actually resigned, because people just bashed him all the time. And it was so ridiculous to see. But he was so good, but at least like he revised our national security documents. And we are, based on that, we have our today's, today's, what's the word? Like we're just working, based on that. So that's good. Military exercises. Thank you. Yeah. Taiwan's emergency is Japan's emergency. Yes. Like we are in this together. In Japan, and there's the, there's a famous picture in Japan. You know those picture? I don't know if it's demon or ghost, but like there are many, like 4 or 5 doors, knocking each one, like I don't know what the original post or original meme or picture is, but it's like some ghost looking, dark looking guy knocking on every door. And in Japan we hear like, oh, Tibet, Uyghur, East Turkestan, Southern Mongolian, Hong Kong, Taiwan next, and then after that is Japan. So like all are taken over by China. And those who are living overseas, Tibetans, Uyghurs, Southern Mongolians, Hong Kongers, some live here as well. So we work with those people to fight against China together. Like we protest together, but like darkly hearing their stories and so on, like my concerns grow, because so horrible what China has been doing. But so when we think about that, of course, like when the order comes, like it's either Taiwan or Japan's Senkaku Islands. So it's in the south, like around Taiwan. So yeah, we talk about that a lot. Oh, another super chat. Thank you so much. Japan's security concern is completely valid, but remember, most Americans can't find Taiwan or Ukraine on the map, let alone grasp the strategic importance of either of those conflicts. No, that's a sad reality. My face is so red now. That's a good point, though. Like, I am aware. Because I think it used to be some trend on YouTube. Like, I've seen a long time ago, I saw, YouTube videos, like asking questions to people on the street and so on. Like, where is that state? It was even inside America. Like, can you name all the states? Or like, can you point that in America's map and so on? And they couldn't see that. And but I personally, I was terrible at geography, in school. I never listened to the class. Like, it was such a sleepy class. So I fell asleep. And I remember the first test that the score I got was like 38 out of 100. So crazy. That was the worst score, I think, in my entire life. I was that terrible. So like, I can't really make fun of American people, but yeah. But generally, I know, I do understand that. Yes. Japanese people too, though, like we didn't know where Ukraine was until this war, I think. Like we knew about Crimea, but like in 2014, but we didn't really talk about that like in details, I think. Yeah. But as for Japan, though, I guess that we have a gift of being surrounded by the oceans. So that's basically works as a wall, right, around us. So we have the luxury to concentrate on our domestic policies or just culture in general, So our TV shows often have quizzes and informative TV programs to teach people things, like history shows and including geography too, like, oh, let's look at this country. What's the background? What's the historical background? What's the geographic background? They do that on TV and it's like very entertaining. And it's how Japan's TV programs are. And even though, like, because our government hasn't clearly stated our, like our politicians are so weak that they don't officially decide things, like verbally. So that's why our TV programs, when they talk about politics or society, often like they are lacking that decision. So of course they're gonna be left biased. Of course, the background includes we lost the war, so anti-Japan sentiment is of course our standard too. But like there are a lot of reasons like that. But still, they try their best to make good shows to teach people. So like Ukraine, as for Ukraine, for example, every single day we look at the news about Ukraine. Or, like I take a selfie, like I haven't done that for a while because I've been such a hermit and I didn't put on makeup. But, a selfie and this TV, you see Trump senpai on the big screen. And that's every day that and it's not only like news programs, but also like these entertaining shows. They talk about world history and so on. So like we're so like the sense that Japanese people have is that we are isolated from the world in a negative way, kind of like it's cool, but it's kind of negative, like we don't know the world. Like we're Japanese and like white people are basically at least like until when I was growing up, white people were dominating in the world, like in developed countries. Like developed countries decide rules, right? So like that's the picture we saw. And then also like other countries, like African countries or Indians or South America or whatever, like all those different parts of the world too. Like people were curious. We're curious about like foreign culture, foreign people. Like there's this curiosity. And so like we have all this coverage. Sorry, I'm talking about stupid things. But yeah. Anyway. Kuwaden? Kuwaden? Sometimes I'm so ignorant. Some of us Americans learn geography by military developments. Yeah. I know people from my schooling, I'm 24, that couldn't read a map. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's only after I became interested in politics that I realized the importance of geography. It's all about geography, right? Like you have to know, like without the understanding of geography, you can't understand the intent of every country. So yeah. Yoko, our level of education has plummeted since the 60s to 70s. Really? I mean, I feel that too, though, in my country. I think we are, because Japan and the US have, at least like after the World War II, like I feel like we are just, having similar steps and at least like culturally. And when I look at both right wings and leftists back in the day, like in the 60s and 70s, they're super duper intellectual. Like some people know this amazing Japanese hero, Yukio Mishima. He was a writer, really artistic, very, very sophisticated. but he also knew like a lot of philosophy and everything. So when you listen to his debate against leftists back in the day, I can't understand a thing, like what they're referring to, the citation and everything. Like both sides have read a lot of like very high level literature and everything, and they base their, like if you think like this person in that way, and then this topic becomes this and that, like their their examples and so on are so different. Today though, when I look at the social media now, like because social media is like, as I spoke about this like last week or so, it's really influencing our politics now. So it's that becoming that powerful. But when you look at social media, people are just stupid. People are just stupid. They don't even have common sense. So crazy. Oh, super chat, thank you. Was there much Japanese news coverage of JD Vance's Munich speech? I think so. I just didn't get to see that, but I'm pretty sure that there was. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't get to see that though. Yeah. But it was kind of controversial, I think. Probably bigly. I somehow wasn't checking the news around that time. Sorry for that. But yeah, because I remember my husband talking about it. Like, oh, this is bad, looks bad for America. Like, we do understand where JD Vance comes from and then so on. Like, he's such a MAGA person. There was an expert describing JD Vance as even more MAGA than Trump. So if you have that premise, then you would understand where he comes from. But yeah, so interesting. It's but when I look at the world politics though, I realize that it's really important that we become friends with everybody and that we speak each other's language so that we are so tight. Is that a word? Like we are so close to each other. Yeah. So it's really like at the end of the day, like if you don't care about some countries or if you are not attached to some other countries, then you don't really care about decision makings, and that would affect those countries, right? Because you don't feel them. So that's why I need to talk to you. But even if I don't make efforts, though, I know that many people find Japan interesting, so that's good. Geography in America is bad. I loved it. I was an alternate for our high school trivia team that competed on our local television station. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Like I like sophisticated people, but I married one. So like after marrying my husband, speaking of which, he's home. After marrying that guy, I learned about this fascination of being sophisticated, like how fun it is. So after I got married with my husband, when I look at really, I shouldn't say low, but they are like low people, their humor, the sense of humor and so on, when I look at what people are finding funny isn't funny anymore. So that's the sad part though. But it's so interesting. So, but that's the reason why I love meeting like National Diet members with great like educational backgrounds or career, because they're super smart that it's so interesting to talk to them. Like when they explain things, it's so straight to the point with no baggage, around or trash around it. Just straight to the point and very logical. And it's like, It's just so, it's so cool. I want to be like that. Yoko, I looked it up. Kaidan. Oh, Kaidan. Kaidan. That's a scary story. I used to love. I was not really a bookworm, but there was a time when I was little that I did like books, and I used to read those horror stories. Let's see. Another interesting fact is how they used the sextant on land and metric. It's a big word. Matriculated all land, and in the 1910s, no more Wild West because everything was bought by the railroad barons. What? No more Wild West? What do you mean? Like, people started to care about the size. Sorry, I'm not sure. Something smells good. I have such a great nose, by the way. So crazy. Like a few blocks away of construction, I could smell it. Like it's not that sounds. Like I could something smell, right? And then, like the block is actually long. A few blocks ahead, I realized that somebody was painting. I'm like a dog. That's why I sniff on my husband sometimes. Where did you go? Sadly, trivia facts seem to have lost its value. When I was young, we paid trivia pursuit so much I would beat the adults in using the 60s and 70s editions. Ah, that's fun. I used to have a little book too that would have like a little trivia or quizzes, I used to like it when I was little. Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Japan television is ethnocentric. It doesn't translate well in other countries. That's so true. Crimea means klimata, or the incline in Greek, because the sun hits at an angle. They thought they were close to the edge of the world. That's interesting. That is interesting. Man, Greeks were so cool at the beginning of our culture, like the human culture, like Greek culture, man. We have like Japanese people love like Greek mythology and so on, like the image of the sort of mythology and so on, and we do like what? Oh. Oh yeah, we do like we like the ancient kind of things, right? But today Greece doesn't stand out. I wish they would more. Like they did stand out when there was like didn't they like fall? Do Japanese people like Greek food? I think so, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what kind of food. Have I ever had a Greek food? I don't know, but I really like those like bean paste. I think that it's around Middle East or a little around like Israel maybe, like a hiyokomame. I don't know how to say that. Hiyokomame, himus or I don't know, hummus sound. I don't remember. Well, what's that paste? Pesto. How? What do you call that? Hummus. Japanese sound, by the way, it always adds a vowel. a, I, u, e, o. Like everything. There's no k, t, t, anything like that. Fu, mu, su. It's so cool. This is so fun. It's 5:43 p.m. Yes, you are correct. Maybe your husband is making a snack. Maybe he bought something. I don't know. He just turned on the rice cooker. Yeah. Let's see. America's being dumb is a stereotype for a reason. Our education system is broken, and I feel it's been done on purpose. Oh. Do you think it's intentional? The kinds of American people I talk to are smart though, like you guys. Yeah. But yeah, like today, like I used to meet American people when I was like concentrating on my studies on English. But I don't have American friends anymore here, because usually what happens is that those who are living in another country are not very patriotic. Sometimes there are exceptions. I see some people like patriotic Americans in Tokyo, for example. Sometimes that happens, or in countryside, like some Westerner, respecting Japan's culture and so on, because they have a deep understanding, like deeper than my understanding. Sometimes that happens, but generally speaking, often, like at least from my experience, the people that I've met were liberal. So like I don't have American friends anymore. So I don't know the like general level of Americans anymore, and those Americans that I get to meet are conservatives. So like every year there's a counterpart of ACU called JCU, like J, Japan. Japanese Conservative Union is there, and they have a CPAC Japan every year, and especially when that happens, my husband and I go every year, and we get to meet like American conservatives. So that's so cool. Like, oh, like they live here, So, and those people are really, really high level. So, Greece peaked early, too early. I feel like China too. China was so smart back in the day, but today, like when you look at Chinese people, the face might look similar, and I don't even know if the facial difference occurs, but today it's Han tribe. The tribe name is Han, but back in like China consists of many different tribes. So actually the Chinese friend, our great Chinese friend, is not Han Chinese. He's not Han. So like maybe that's why. I don't know. But China used to be great, but today communism, it's a matter of communism. Like I said before, like probably last week or the before, I kind of want to see the parallel world, to see China with like I want to say China without communism. It would be so interesting. Oh, supercharged. That's a pink color. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for the song and your perspective. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah, it's based on I wish there's no book in my reach, but yeah. My husband wrote a book about, different nation states under Russia's rule, and they want to get independent, but they're having a hard time, and also some are even sent to the war because they are colonized by Russia, so Russia can use them, right? So and Putin especially, he wants to erase other ethnic groups. So he sends those ethnic groups to the battlefront, and so there is it's like a dual war for them. And we will interviewed many people and made a compilation of those interviews into a book. So now, based on the book, I just I told my husband like, oh, I want to make music again. I feel creative. I want to do something. And my husband said like, oh, make that song. And then he, you know, uh, I was like, oh, it should be like make Russia small again. And I came up with because it's a phrase that we often use. And I was thinking, oh, but the melody, like, it will work. And then I asked my husband to think of the like a structure of the song, and I made it into English. And yeah, super chat, thank you. Oh, I can't see it. Always it does that. The first, I'm gonna look at it from my phone, so hopefully I can read the comments. Oh, it's only super chat? Okay. I thought that there's somebody else's super chat, is it? Or I don't know. Like, why is that happening? It happens, like, I'm gonna show you again. Like, how it appears is this, and I see this green thing here. I can't read. But thank you so much. Yoko has many first-time super chatters like Rudy. Yay! Thank you so much. It helps me a lot. Yes, like I'm not hired by anybody, so like you guys are my only hope, for financial things. So thank you for. But I worked so hard for the past few days. Yeah, so we made a song, right? And because things happen every day, like day by day, right? So I'm like, I need to hurry. So I became like this filthy, hairy monkey, just in pajama all day and working on computer or keyboard and yeah. Finally, I felt like refreshed today though. Just made myself clean, like completely clean, and it was good. Minerals are important, but so are vitamins. Who has the vitamin minds? Why? Are you talking about resources or nutrition? Why? I want vitamin D. I'm subscribed to. I'm a subscriber of the former Morning Musume, like a female singer group, Maki Goto. She has a YouTube channel. And she was one day talking about her skincare. Like, she's as old as me, but she looks super young. Like her beautiful skin and everything. And I was like, what does she do? And I was watching her video. And she said that she takes vitamin D because she could get the sunlight, but she doesn't want to get tanned. So she chose to stay home and take vitamin D. I don't know if that's healthy, but yeah. Anyway, are you guys falling asleep? The chat became kind of quiet. But thank you guys for your super chat though. It really helps. But yeah, I really love talking to people outside of Japan, by the way, like you guys, because your first-hand perspective is really helpful to understand, what's going on in the world. Of course, like each of us cannot speak for everyone, but like when we listen to many different people, at least it's better than imagining things. So yeah. Yoko, what's your opinion on the freedom of speech? I respect and value freedom of speech. Freedom is so important for me. I want to feel free so much that I'm not hired. I'm not employed. Oh, I'm not employed because I want to feel free. And freedom of speech is important for Japanese people, but in Japan, it's a lot of bashing. Like on a personal level. Like there are some line that you shouldn't cross, right? Like talk about people's appearances or their private life and that sort of things. Like there's a line that you shouldn't cross when you are engaged politically, right? Especially politically. But people to here are becoming more and more nasty, like nastier. Yeah. So it's really terrible. So like for that, like we should draw a line, like, oh, for this part, like yeah, we can say to this level, but after that, rule of law, we gotta catch them, we gotta make them pay or something like that. So yeah, because I guess that at the end of the day, like we can't see the standards, like everyone has different standards, and it can sometimes attack or harm other people. So there's a line, but deciding the line is difficult, I think, because for example, Elon Musk freed X, that was so good. I really appreciate that work of Elon Musk, but at the same time, it's kind of chaotic because it's basically like it's great in a way because it's X today is like the open field, just like the reality. It's just open field. There are crazy people, like when I talk about conspiracy theories, you don't like it because you some of you feel offended, but I'm not even talking about that level. Like real conspiracy theorists exist, and even that type of people, like talking about health, not based on facts, it's really harmful. I'm okay because I'm an adult and I have my like basic knowledge about everything now. Like I've been alive for a long time now, so like, and I've Googled a lot of things, in the past few decades. So I actually know a lot of things for my survival, but not other people. There are younger people or less people with less knowledge and so on, and they get manipulated and they harm themselves, with the wrong misinformation and so on. But that's kind of their responsibility too. So it's hard to decide the line for me. But Japanese people, though we have a culture, we tend to be, at least for Japanese people, we tend to be like, our culture is not something ism, like Shintoism, like you add ism, right? Like communism, socialism, it's ism. But in Japan, like when you say Shintoism, it's kind of wrong because Shinto is like divine way. Shinto. Shin, kami, God, kind of divine thing. Kami, shin. Shinto, shin, right? To, that kanji, that character, or that letter refers to way or a path or road, like something that we walk on, something that we shouldn't derail from. So divine way, right? Shinto, right? So, and kendo, same pathway, road, that sort of thing. Kendo like sword, kendo, like Star Wars kind of kendo, yeah. Do, judo, all the doors are door. So way, it's the, the life's way that we are looking at, like to reflect our steps or our approaches, what we do, what kind of walking we are having. So that's our concept. So often in freedom of speech too, people turn into like etiquette instructors. Oh, this is the way. You're not supposed to be this way. We're supposed to be this way. It's like, oh, this way. So a lot of people will, kind of like censor you. I feel like I have a feeling that it's kind of have a good chemistry with totalitarianism, because it's like a mass. It's like society, and you're supposed to be this way, or else you are bad, right? So it kind of has a good chemistry, in my opinion. That's the way that I see. So that's kind of dangerous. And so Japanese people often like they will try to silence other people. Like Americans are different. Americans just debate all the time. Like it's like Americans, sometimes when I look at debates, like both sides are speaking to each other like nonstop. Like I don't know how they are listening to each other. Just keeps talking, at each other. Never happens in Japan, by the way. Right? But that's like freedom of speech. Like you have the right to speak, right? But in Japan, even though we do cherish the Western ideas, that's something that we incorporated into our lifestyle and also in our society to, to stand, be on the same page as Western people and so on, I think. And Japan, of course, like we have always, valued freedom. Of course, like as I said, like our society has been tolerant. However, there's the discipline part, the michi, like way kind of thinking. So like when it comes to freedom of speech, it's kind of mixed, is what I'm trying to say. Talking about this character, Yoko. Yes, that character. Yes, it's oh, super chat, thank you. Can you read us a Japanese Bill of Rights? The Bill of Rights? What do you mean? Japanese Bill of Rights? なんだそれってことだ。Bill? Constitution? Bill refers to fundamental human rights guarantee, Chapter 3 of Constitution. What? どういうこと？権利の焦点？ Rights? Bill of Rights. Oh, I see. What's interesting is that Japanese people, like conservative, like when I look at American conservatives, you guys care so much about the Constitution. Like your conservatism is based, like it's based on your Constitution, right? Like you respect your Constitution. In Japan, our conservatives want to rewrite our Constitution. We're like anti-regime, basically, anti-post-war regime. So that's why our leftists say that even though our Constitution was written originally by America, they're like, protect Constitution! And they have the Constitutional Democratic Party. So, yeah. Constitution. I see. Like you want me to just read it out loud, you mean? I never look at our Constitution, by the way. Like we often talk about like our Tenno emperor part, because it matters a lot. But I bet that it's similar to America's. I don't know what to look at though. The power of the natural order is something worthy of worship, no matter how you define it. Yeah. Rewrite constitution so Japan have a military again. I'm down for it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like especially, what we often talk about is the emergency article. We don't have that. So emergency, and also the Article 9, which prohibits our military forces. Yoko, it's so nice. Your husband is very supportive. Yeah, I was so surprised that because so I made a song, right? Like I don't know if you guys like it, but I just wanted to be creative. My husband helped me a lot with the idea, and I had to work on it, right? I had to, like, composition works in my head somehow. I had all this, like it was made in my head, but I still had to, input everything, right? Like playing the keyboard and then controlling the MIDI and singing. It takes time, and so 2 nights, because I wake up late and I can't work at night, so like it's limited, right? But 2 nights I couldn't make dinner. And then the second day, like yesterday, I apologized to my husband, like, "I'm sorry, like, I can't, I can't cook for you because, nah." And then my husband was like, "Oh, never mind, never mind, just finish it. I'm looking forward to it," because he literally, like, he meant it, because it was his song basically. He thought of that song, and he wanted to know the outcome so badly, just like I did. So it's cool when that happens, like both of us are completely on the same page and we just help each other. So yeah, great team. Yeah. Yep. It's so interesting though. When I was younger, oh, super chat, I missed that. Sorry, I should read that. Yeah, when I was younger, I never thought that like I had a list of like attractive men, like what I look for in guys. Like, oh, he has to be a musician, white straight teeth, and tall, and bright skin color. And because I'm kind of pale, so yeah, and that sort of things, and super stupid. I probably missed a lot of good guys when I was younger because I had that stupid list. But it resulted in marrying him, so that's good. But yeah, the Lotus Eaters podcast has been making lots of videos claiming Japan has been taking too many immigrants lately. Thoughts? That's thank you for super chat, by the way. Thank you. I don't know by too many, that too many. We are having more immigrants because I think it's due to, I don't know if it's true, but I personally feel that because our country is developed than before, now we as workers don't want to do the little dirty work and so on. Like we have a lot of convenience store, like 24 hours open kind of stores everywhere in Japan. It really supports our daily life, but nobody wants to work there. And also like foreign workers, exchange students included, they can hire, the business owners can hire them easily. I think, the payment should be the same, right? So when it comes to that, it doesn't matter. But so students in general are great for part-time jobs, and those like 7-Eleven and Lawson, it's called Lawson and so on, or Family Mart. Those places hire like foreign students, and every time, like I wasn't used to seeing that before. Like a decade ago when I first saw that, I'm like it's like, how can they do that job? Like I was kind of thoughtful, like, isn't that tough? But they were doing it, and it's amazing. Yeah, so it's part of our life now, just like that. Like it's just my, and also hotel, for example, hotel workers and cleaning staff and so on. Like I bet that it's the same for America, for example, especially in the South, because I've been there. And I saw that, and it's so like for foreigners like from other Asian countries, like from the South, would have like from Philippines or maybe Thailand, Philippines or somewhere. Like they have the cleaning staff job and they do that. But then do Japanese people want to work like that? So there's that shift that I see. And at the same time, but is at the same time though, like I know that living in Japan is actually tough. There are many other options in the world, 200 or so countries are out there. And choosing to live in Japan is actually tough because you have to be able to speak the language. You have to be able to, used to seeing as foreigners, and also you need to work hard. The working culture is really difficult. Like even I am not adjusting to my own country's standards. It is so difficult. So yeah, so those who, but I actually watched this short documentary type of segment on TV. Like recently, it had it was actually, there's this area in Tokyo. Is it in Tokyo? Shin-Okubo, I think. Like that place, the region used to be famous for like Korean people living there, but now it's like multicultural. There are lots of different like people from different backgrounds, like Vietnam or Thailand or Philippines or whatever, like Indian people even had a house, and it's like their temple, but in the middle of the like a residential area, I think, and but it's a house like 3 stores or so. I mean, floors or so, and they had this temple thing, and also and but their sound don't go out. It's proofed, and but yeah, they have the gatherings and so on, but they actually follow the rules because they are complained by the neighborhood and blah blah blah. But like what I found interesting was that it was originally like Korean community, right? And then other culture, because it was already international, other foreign people are rushing in there to live together. My area, foreigners do not live here. So and Chinese people too, of course, often like Chinese people, it's everywhere in the world. They create Chinatown, everything works in their community without like dropping the money locally even. So that happens. But yeah. But anyway, I'm derailing. So many, I don't know. The standards is difficult to scale. More people, more immigrants, yes, but it's like, some people like Westerners want to think about, the way that I see is that like Americans or Europeans, they are suffering from immigrants, like too many immigrants, violent, who do not respect the culture and so on. And then when they look at Japan, they look at Japan as like the last resort. Is it that expression? Like it's the ideal, the majority of us being the same race. And also probably Westerners think that, there are more, even though the ratio is low, more immigrants are coming in. So then starting from there, they'll be more immigrants, and then Japan will be like Western nations today, and so on. But at least for now, it's not that level. So, I'll get back to that. I'll ask my husband about it, what he thinks, and I'll get back to that. Super chat, thank you. Just let me first look at super chat. Oh,分かってる. In the U.S., the bill. Thank you so much again for your super chat. In the U.S., the Bill of Rights is a list of rights you are born with that the government can not take from you without justification. 基本的なところかな. Well, that was how it was supposed to work anyway. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Like the fundamental rights, maybe, in Japan when we think about constitution. Like a freedom of speech and that sort of things. It's interesting because, like, of course, like culturally, Japanese conservatives do care about that sort of stuff, but we never talk about that because it's so taken for granted, at least in Japan, you know. I only remember freedom of speech because that's what I care. 基本的な人権は述べてください。なんか他の生存権 survival oh religion when I hear that I'm like yeah of course but yeah middle school junior high school level I was not listening to class. Super chat, thank you again. Japan doesn't officially have a military yet. Ranks 10 in military expenditures and is launching F-35 from aircraft carriers. Isn't that so awesome? So we practically have that, but because it's not official, we can't use it like military forces. Like we can't decide to just do things. So that's really it's so like, you know, like we have it and it's so like tempting, but we can't use it. Like basically like just imagine like you have it's a terrible example, but the dynamics is that let's say that you have like a PlayStation. Let's say you have a PlayStation, but your mom says like, oh, you have a PlayStation, but you cannot play it. Only 1 hour. You're like, right? So, and, 日本の自衛隊は軍隊じゃないというだけで法律が警察と一緒だっていう。軍隊の法律じゃなくてね、警察と一緒なんだ。My husband is telling me, giving me the input. So Japanese military forces are not recognized as the official military forces, and at the same time, where it belongs to, the Japan self-defense forces belong to the police. It's the same as the police. The same rule under the police. It's not military. It's police, just armed police. So yeah, big police. So that's our legal system. So that's why we are saying that we need to change that to our military type of legal system. 一番わかりやすいのはね、軍隊はね、撃てとね、指揮官、コマンダーが撃つでしょ。しかし日本の自衛隊はね、自分の身を守る自己防衛ねのためにしか撃てない。So usually, like when you picture a military forces, a commander would say like fire, and then they will listen, right? But Japanese self-defense forces, it's the same as the police, so we can only protect ourselves, like defend ourselves. We can't do offense, and we actually have to get hit first in order to counter that.
だから昔からよく言われてるのはね、領空侵犯に飛んできた時にね、まずね、
息目
息が受け撃墜されたらもう息が反撃する。
So when China and Russia scramble, for example, they do. Those two countries are the countries that fly around Japan to collect information and so on. China, Russia, they come on a daily basis. And when they do, our self-defense forces, of course, are patrol kind of, looking around. And then our fighter jets will go scramble. But then they have to go with two because they can't just do things, from our side, like at first. So the first air fighter jet will get hit so that the second one can do the work. So that's crazy. Like we have to get hit because we can only defend. So we have to get hit, and for the first time we can do something. That's our system. That's crazy, right? But super smart ってきて But that's super smart. It's like having a PlayStation that you can only play if someone breaks in and starts playing without you. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's. Oh yeah. Bird up. Thank you, Bird Up, for your Yoko tax. Yes. I want to learn how to scream like yeah. I can kind of do, but I live in a apartment complex, so I can't be loud, and that's why my singing never gets better, because I'm like it's in my songs it sounds kind of loud, but it's because of the echoes, and like I'm like I use the regular USB microphone that I use for live stream. I'm like and then I was singing here, but it kind of echoes in this like room because it's spacious and it's so echoey. So I used the tatami floor and I sang at the closet, like in the closet. I'm like Doraemon. I opened the closet, like Japanese style slide door closet, and it's made of woods. So I stuffed like what's it called, mofu, blanket, so that and made it small, and through that I was singing at the blanket inside the closet. Anyway, thank you so much for your support, guys. Thank you. My friend had her Fourth Amendment rights broken when the Japan police took her driver's license after talking to her. When her husband was pulled over for a ticket. In the US, they can't do that. Took her driver's license after talking to her when her husband was pulled over for a ticket. Interesting. Fourth Amendment. What is that though? Sorry, I'm not familiar with the Constitution. Yeah. I would say I love Japanese people and hope they preserve their culture. Yeah, me too. I mean, Japan has such a long history, like continued history, So, like officially, our years has been over 2,000 years. It's nearly 3,000 years. Like it's just we have the records of those thousands of years. So then studying history is so difficult. Like where do we start, So much to learn. Man. But I guess the AI is very useful as long as you input all the information, if you are even able to. Somebody did that though. Like I read some news before that, was it American or Western, European? I don't remember. But somebody made the AI read like ancient characters, like made it learn and read the old writings and so on. So that was really cool. You mean like Judas Priest scream? Yeah. Yeah. I wanna. I can hit the notes, but I don't know how to create the right sound or how to hit it. Like I'm too gentle. And I wanna go like hard, but I don't know how to do that. Probably I need muscles. Most stories have at least 2 aircraft flying out. Oh, so being realistic, I think. Do you like American country music? Yes, I do. But by liking, I doesn't mean that I am familiar. But I like the sound of American country music. I do. It's really cheerful. I don't know. It's not always cheerful, but like the rhythm and the vibe and the singing voice is usually really great. So like they actually sing. Like I like singers, like recent music is just bad. It's just technology. Yeah. So I really like like music being music. I've been addicted to Neoni, by the way. It's a duo, American duo. It's 2 sisters, very young, 23 and 26. Neoni, like neon, and then I at the end, Neoni. They have a YouTube channel. They have a live stream too. I think maybe they're doing it today. I don't know. Such great singers, and I like their vibe. Like it's really modern, electronic, and of course they do use technology too. But I realized that they are actually good singers. Like they don't actually need when they go acoustic. It's so wonderful. Neoni, Neo, Neo, Ni. Let's see. Oh man, I've been speaking for such a long. Have I been talking to you like 2 hours straight? I'm learning, by the way, that I actually like speaking. Isn't that weird? I didn't know that I like speaking until like very, very recently. I realized that. It was such an interesting experience this morning, actually. So I stayed up, right, until 7 when I was done with everything. It was 7. Still, I had to wake up early, at noon and then worked on a thumbnail. But I was so hyped, because I created something. I was so happy about it. I stayed up late, and I guess that it was like freeing my soul. And I was so hyper and excited that I couldn't fall asleep, and I just kept speaking. My husband was go to sleep. Oh, extra Yoko hour, really? I mean, as long as super chat keep coming in, I will go on. Seriously though, as long as it keeps coming in, I can go on. I need to eat though. Probably I'll just show what I eat then. Oh, super chat, thank you again. I have heard that Visa and MasterCard is forcing the censorship of manga. Are you aware of this? Like I did hear about something about those credit card companies, but I didn't know about the content of that. Really? What kind of manga though? Is that like a pilot manga or actual products? I need details. But it's so I realized that when it's a little different topic, but when I purchase on Amazon, the companies can actually see your information, right? And I'm like, I'm self-conscious, after learning that. Yeah. Uh, and credit card companies, like, they can look into what you purchased, right? Like, there are records, and it's scary. Like, I don't, it's kind of embarrassing, like, not that I'm doing anything wrong, but it's just kind of, embarrassing, right? So, like, because of that notion, like, when I shop at the grocery store nearby, I get self-conscious now. Because, like, so I'm a female, so I have to, go buy female stuff, right? Like that, yeah. And then, so then at the same time, I'm buying like an iron, like supplement, iron and so on, and then the pads and so on. When I go to the cashier, I'm like, maybe the cashier can tell what I'm going through right now. Other time, I'm like buying like Eastern medicine, like about the female cycle. And then, yeah, the guy can tell what I'm going through, or my status and so on. And I started to feel kind of self-conscious. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy those things only at the store. I'm gonna go to, it's a franchise and there's other places. So I'm gonna just go randomly, and tour around so that I can be tracked, because I realized that because the cashier, speaks in such a polite tone, like too artificial, like, oh, irashaimase, like, oh, oatsukareshimasu, like, oh, thank you, oh, here's a change. And it's like so polite and clearly pronounced, and it's so unnatural. And it's probably, so I'm like, oh, the guy just cares about everything, so probably looking into my purchase as well. So, yeah. I could sit in silence most of my day and be happy. Cool. That's the way to go. How hard is it to remember the names of English letters? I tried learning Korean and eventually I forgot the name of letters, but still remember how they sound. Oh, cool. I mean, in order to communicate, you don't really need to learn that, right? Yeah. Like, I can say ni hao, but I don't really know that character. I know it when I see it, but I don't know if I can write it. Have you heard of the new game Yasuke Simulator? You mean what's that name? Assassin's Creed? Or, oh, bird up, thank you. I've heard about the situation with credit card and companies pushing for censorship of manga. Really? There's a YouTuber named Madame Savi that has gone into heavy detail on the topic on both YouTube and Twitter. That's interesting. I'm gonna take a picture of you. Stay. So that I will remember the name. That's interesting. Well, I mean, if it's Japanese manga, then it has a lot of different values, and also LGBT type is included too. So is that what kind of content though is bad for them? I wonder. Wait. I need to. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Berta. Yasuke Simulator is a parody of Ubisoft's claim that Assassin's Creed Shadow is historically accurate. Really? It's a parody? Interesting. I should look into that. Who made that? That's interesting. Like, I wonder which direction it went. Like, showing the real Yasuke or just going crazy. Wait, you're the one of the earth that has. Cassius' mama has the same face. Do you like juvenile middle-aged Western man? What? What? Shit. I hear that word often, but I don't know what it means. Let me see. Shonen? Shonen? Boy? Like a childish? Middle-aged Western man. Ooh, I'm confused by that question. He's not trying to upset you, he knows. If my Japanese is too good, people might think I'm noisy. No, I don't think so. I'll keep it slowly. No, don't. It's cool when non-Japanese people speak Japanese. いらっしゃいませ。さて、ご購入いただいたものをすべて厳重に検査させていただきます。Yeah. It's Do you do the cashier work though? When I used to work at stores, like I've worked at plenty of places, like part-time jobs. I've tried post office, moving service, bread, like bakery, and Toys R Us, and bar, Japanese, like old-fashioned bar, because even though I can't drink, because there were lots of foreign exchange students. And what else? Music instrument store, translation company. What else? I feel like I did more. I don't know. I just different genre, many random things because I'm a random Yoko. Yes. Heart and mind of a teenager, beautiful Yoko, slowly aging, however. I feel like when I used to be obsessed with appearances when I was younger, but after I hit like 30 or so, like I just decided to look at appearances as, like, of course it does sometimes like project what's inside of you, but often it's just carried on by your ancestors and also the superpower, that we don't know, probably God, I don't know, but we were just created and we just live in it, right? So then after just embracing that, or aging too, like I just don't take it personally anymore. So I just appreciate the creation, right, of of a humankind. So when I look at grandpas, for example, I can see the soul of a boy, no matter how old some people look, like I can see the heart. So like I don't really care about age and so on in that regard. But Japanese language, by the way, is tricky because here, especially if you are talking to those who are have the higher status, or if they are older, you have to completely change the tone, and the opposite happens when people are younger, or you think that they are lower than you or less experienced. from you, then people will speak to you casually. But I know that older people can be immature and younger people can be mature. So I speak nice to everybody. I'm awesome. Point is that I'm awesome. Anyway, my husband is sitting right in front of me, and like he's messaging other people, and my phone buzzes, kind of on a do not disturb mode. Okay. Let's see. My Japanese teacher taught me that Japan used to have a class system. Koreans and half Japanese were considered the lowest class. And after Japan modernized, many became yakuza. What? 日本の先生が教えてくれたらしいが、日本が階級のシステムがあった日本にないね。
いや、それはだから戦前はあるじゃん、その
ああ、そういうこと？
なんていう
家族。家族。
まあ要するにイギリスでいう貴族みたいなのね。し、もちろんその江戸時代にもあったわけだから。こ
の人が習ったのは韓国人とハーフの日本人が下の方の階級。
そんなものね。
で、その人たちがなんか文化がモダンになった時にヤクザになった。
人種にクラスは存在しないって言っといて。
In Japan, we don't have class based on race.
だって戦前の日本において W2 の前においてね、朝鮮人でジェネラルになって日本人が兵隊だったことだけあるわけだから。朝鮮人のジェネラルもいっぱいいるわけ。
Before the World War II, for example, there were commanders in military. General. Yeah, general. Korean general. And yeah, of Japanese army. So Japanese soldiers and then Korean general giving orders and so on. Yeah. Yoko, do you know how famous Zatoichi movies are in America? Yes, I'm aware. I mean, Takeshi Kitano is really, really famous. I didn't expect him to be that sort of famous though, because he was just goofy and he was such a comedian. And yeah. The only Japanese films I've seen were Kurosawa, Seven Samurai and Ran were amazing. Nice. I don't think I have the patience to look at old movies, you know. Like I know that like that sort of classic movies are great and I should know about it because it's of my own country. But I have such a short temper. I'm such a modernized person. And it's such a loss, you know, like old works usually have like this time, like what we call ma in Japanese, like, you know, quiet time. Like when you're speaking, you just wait and do something or something like that. Or speak slowly and so on, and transition takes time. And yeah, it's I wish that I need to be more mature, I think, in order to you know, start digging that sort of great works back in the day. Remind us, what's the gaming channel? You mentioned it in a previous live. I couldn't find it. Oh, it's Random Yoko Vlog. It used to be a vlog channel, so Random Yoko, just Random Yoko Vlog. It's all combined together, Random Yoko Vlog. It's my gaming channel. I just play Call of Duty Mobile. I want to play Call of Duty Mobile today. Because I couldn't for the past, I don't know, at least yesterday. Just been a day. Yeah, because you have to use your finger every day, or else like you can't. I'm in the rank legendary, so I need to be good at it. Isn't that amazing? I'm almost 40 years old, and then I'm beating these like teenagers and those who are in their 20s, boys. Majority of them are boys, young, youthful. Like they have this great reflex, but I beat them. So like, it's so stupid, but I love it. I wish there were more great games though. I can't do battle royale type because I don't have the patience. I like sports, like I used to like, even though I was doing kendo, I really liked basketball. And it's fast paced and it's quick and yeah. And also it's teamwork and you can yell at people. Anyway, Sabacha, thank you so much. You should watch Idiocracy if you haven't. Funny movie. Oh, I like funny movies. I'm gonna look it up. Idiocracy. Here you go. This one? Idiocracy. 2006. 2006 is like golden time, right? Early 90s to 80s to early 2000 was the best time ever. Cool. Black joke. Is it this one? I wonder if it's this one. 26世紀. Interesting. I'm gonna watch it. I need to find that. Take that, Obasan's got you figured out. Yes. People do call me Obasan all the time, like young kids, just to be mean. It's a young, I don't know what it is with kids, I was not that type of kids, that name call older people, I just distanced myself from older people in that way. I just talked to my parents. I'm so close to my parents though, so like my parents' friends are my friends, but aside from that, like generally I would just distance myself instead of like calling names to older people. So it's interesting, but like I don't even know these kids. But some kids come to my live stream and they're like, Ube-san, like old lady, I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Like, you're gonna be a Noji-san, like old uncle. That's okay, there are historical things about America I don't care about either. Shogun, yeah, we need to watch Shogun. Like, I'm not... The problem I have with Japanese, like, so-called jidaigeki, like old themed drama, like traditional Japanese TV drama with samurai and so on. I can't watch that because I don't understand the Japanese actually. And maybe it's just me, but I can't hear what they're saying. The Japanese actors do not speak clearly. Like their acting is usually not very nice. So like they try to, but on the top of that, they try to be natural. So when they speak, I can't tell. And in addition, their language they're trying to show the old vibe, but at the same time, it's modern Japanese. It's so mixed in a weird way, and I don't know the culture well, so I don't know what they're saying most of the time. So when I watch that sort of stuff with my husband, like on a special occasion, I always ask my husband, like, what is he saying? What does it mean? And then my husband has to stop it and explain, and I'm like, oh, let's watch it again. Continue. So yeah, but Shogun, I bet, are easy to understand because it's meant for people overseas, right? But at the same time, showing the true Japanese jidaigeki, like old style. So you're a beautiful girl. Thank you. When I was in my 20s, I was really interested in being rich and read Robert Kiyosaki books. Try to have fewer hustles. After my 30s, I stopped caring about that. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, like what we value in early days of our life turns out to be your trauma or your weird mentality. And you once you learn the pattern, you can genuinely enjoy life now after that. Anyway, Kendo basketball, how tall are you? I'm actually short. I'm 160 centimeters. Is it like 5'3"? I don't know. I'm not like I know that I'm always close to the camera, and I look gigantic, but I'm pretty average. So it's funny that every time I go to CPAC, CPAC Japan, and meet like Mashulap and so on. ACU chairman Mashulap comes to the event, and he is really nice. But him and other like Americans and so on, and when I meet them, I feel so tiny. I think because I'm aging, I'm getting smaller too. So like it's already beginning. I'm aging. I'm gonna be a small grandma. So yeah, I'm small, like becoming scrawny in a bad way, and yeah, and Americans are so and tall. So interesting. You are not old. Feel like it though. I mean, what's interesting though is that my eating habit changed and my taste, especially after marrying this skinny guy. I used to, is it like binge eat? Like I used to eat constantly all day before. I was not fat, but still, like, of course, I was chubby and so on. I have power, but at the same time, I would get exhausted easily. But now I limit eating time mostly, and also I don't eat like junk much. So yeah, so because of that, I feel more energy now. Like if I was speaking like this back in the day, like a decade ago, or even more, like when I was in my 20s, I would get exhausted easily. Like I remember making YouTube videos, in Japanese to talk about politics, reading things on the screen. I drafted everything back in the day. So like reading everything, and I make mistakes, so I say again out loud, and I just continue to speak and speak and speak, and I would get exhausted after like an hour. And I realized, like, even though I'm older now, I feel more, I have more energy. So that's interesting. But as for my appearance, like I have gray hair, I'm getting kind of scrawny in a bad way, like losing muscles and so on. So that's sort of like, it looks like I am getting older, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of a evolution, even though I'm just one person, it's like, the things that you don't use on a daily basis will fade away, basically. I feel like that's the point of everything, like your eyesight, for example, like when you get older, your eye health declines. But so because of that, I'm always using my eyes like, and also make sure that I sleep a lot too, so that you get rested and so on. And so yeah, so that's why I know that I need to use my body, but yeah, it's so hard to live a normal life in an apartment complex. One day I want to be super rich, and when I do, I want to live in a farm, house with a great view though. And then I can be as loud as I can be. And not in a dirty way. But you know what I mean. But like I want to sing, I want to walk normally. Like when I walk in my place, I'm always like kind of sneaking, like I'm being sneaky because I'm such a nice neighbor. Not my husband, he walks like, but not me, like, and it's stressful. I learned 基本的人権 today thanks to you. Good! That's good. Thank you. Anyway, if no more super chat, I gotta go. My husband is waiting. What's funny about my husband is that often when my husband walks around in our place, he walks like, he does this, like behind this, right? And then he walks like
a professor.
Like a teacher.
Professor.
Professor. He wants to be a professor. He talks like, walks like. He's pacing right now in front of me. I don't know why he has this arrogant vibe, Extra clever. Really? I mean, I can go on. If you can go on. Yeah. We're impressed that you guys are actually awake. Remember the song by Katy Perry? I'm wide awake. Every time I'm staying up late, I'm like, I'm wide awake. I'm always singing in my head. I don't want to sing her song because she's such a disrespectful liberal, but that song though. I'm wide awake. Na 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 na. I'm wide awake. The song is so funny. No. I think I covered that a long time ago. If you look for Random Yoko, just Random Yoko, not to Random Yoko. There's a channel, Random Yoko, original Random Yoko channel. I think there's a cover of Katy Perry. Yeah, probably that song. 7 p.m. You're in Japan. Wait, is it 7? It's already 7. 7. I'm hyper today. I don't know. Sometimes, am I being like what's the word? What's the word, guys? Bipolar. Is that like, am I a bipolar? Sometimes I'm like, a lot of times. Idiocracy is pretty funny to us. I hope the comedy translates. I hope so too. I mean, at least I will understand. Like I understand most of American culture or Western culture, I think. Yeah. Sometimes it's I'm so Americanized. Like I'm such a traditional Japanese, but at the same time, I'm so Americanized, and I should probably talk to like half Japanese people so that they would understand me. So like it's so mixed. Oh, super chat ありがとうございます。暴れん坊将軍9. Pretty cool. Love the sword fights. Cannot understand a word of it. Very hard Japanese. I know. 難しいよ。でも暴れん坊将軍好きだったな。ドゥルドゥドゥルドゥルドゥルドゥルドゥシャキンシャキンシャキン。チュルルドゥルドゥルチュルルルシャキンシャキンシャキンシャキン。Man, that Ken Matsudaira is so handsome. If I say that too much, my husband will get jealous. So I'm not gonna say that much. But he's so handsome. 県松マツケンサンバ俺
どちらかって俺トム・クルーズ
My husband went outside of this room and he came back. By the way, more than Ken Matsunaira, I'm like Tom Cruise. So of course, like every race is made beautifully, but I often find Swedish guys very handsome, right? It's just that different race, like super white, like it's so beautiful, in my opinion. And when I share that with my husband, after that time, every time I the conversation goes to like appearances and so on. My husband is like, well, I look like Swedish. He has completely flat Asian face. So it's so. I love him. He's so funny. My husband is so funny. Oh, super chat again. Thank you. Kombini food is, and the college student ramen is best. Oh, college student ramen. You lived here? You live here, or do you live here? Like, how do you know that? I can't remember the name of it. Name of the ramen place? Yeah. You know what I like about being on a business trip? Like my husband and I, we work together, right? On politics. And sometimes we lobby. We go to Tokyo and then we meet our like national diet members, like parliament members. And when we stay at hotel, like of course we want to cut the budget, right? So we often go to kombini, but it's basically the only time that I get to have kombini foods, but it's really, really good nowadays. I like Takashi from Japan. Could you get in one of his videos? Takashi? Who's Takashi? Takashi who? Alberta, thank you so much. I better stay up late. So Up All Night by Slaughter, an 80s rock band. Up all night, sleep all day. Really? There's a song like that? How come I've never heard of it? I gotta look into that. I'm gonna cheese. Okay. I'm taking a picture of you all. Takeshi's Castle. Takeshi's Castle was so funny. Yeah, like it was a thing when we were younger. It was so crazy, but I feel like Takeshi Kitano's sense in general, I think, is very much like Westerners. So it's, even though Japanese people find him funny, like many people find him funny or great, not everybody does. Like my parents do not like him. But the majority of like ordinary people here like him, of course. So it really, just like Trump, like when I look at Takeshi Kitano, I just sense the same kind of, thing from Takeshi Kitano as Trump, because Trump is amazing, but it really depends on the person who is looking at the person, right? It really like such a contrast. So that's interesting. Oh, Sabacha, thank you. Takashi from Japan interviews Japanese people on street. Very cool videos. Oh, I see. That's cool. Like interviews in Japanese, but put subtitles or something. I don't actually watch other people's YouTube channels. I do watch like COD mobile players, but that's about it. So, Takashi, Takashi-kun, Takashi. Oh, Takashi from Japan. Oh, I found him. Cool. Yeah, I've seen this style before. Like there are several people I think that are doing that. That is interesting. I'm so jealous of like people that are this social. Like I'm kind of social, but I'm a creative type of person. I do like speaking because it's expression. Conversation, my imagination works in a weird way, and I start analyzing things, and also I criticize myself as a result of that. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or oh, maybe I shouldn't have acted this way or that way, and like I think about a lot of things, and so it's really exhausting. So I don't like socializing in real life. This is awesome. But in real life I'm terrible. Like even though I look smooth and professional, I can be like that, but like it's exhausting for me. But like I'm jealous of people like that, like those who can just go randomly speak to strangers. I guess I am kind of horrified of rejections, probably. I wish I wouldn't mind that. When I was really little, though, I wouldn't care about anything. I was rude to everybody. And my classmate, this boy, later, like decades later, through my mom and his mom, like this boy, his mom, my mom, and me, there's a message from him, like a few years ago, actually, saying that, oh, Yoko bullied me. I do remember doing things to him, but I didn't think that it was a bully, because I was that insensitive, I kind of miss that. Like, I don't want to harm people, but I kind of miss not thinking about things that don't matter. With the time change, it's 6 a.m. Is that? I actually have world time on my application somewhere. Wait, how do I do that? Wait, it became difficult to. Which is that? This one? Oh yeah. Yeah, I have a list of all these places. Huh? Where is America? Oh, East Coast is 6, so that's an hour. I always just picture when I try to think of American times. My husband likes to calculate, like 13 hours or 14 or whatever. He calculates. Me, I just think of like it's a night here, so on the other side it's in the morning, right? So then I just think of like 1 hour, 2 hour. So now just morning version, an hour. Okay, I got it. Yeah, 7時. Yeah, San Francisco is 4 hours. Just 12 hours plus something. I'm a lazy thinker, so. I love Trump for bringing up the military-industrial complex lies during the Iraq War. Ooh, that's big. Soldiers are okay with being sent to war, but not for lies. It was important to us that he acknowledged it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Iraq War? イラクが大量破壊兵器？
持っているって言って攻めていったんだけど、
なかったやつよね。Yeah, that cause was weird. The mass weapon. So neocons made it up, or Yoko, maybe it's something to do with your star sign. Oh yeah? What is? I wonder what is. both in English and Japanese with subtitles. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I'll post the song on Twitter and then tag you so that you and Hide can sing along to it. Gotta do it. Thank you. 3 a.m. Wow. I'm keeping you guys awake. That's not good. You gotta go to sleep, right? All these years later, he still can't let it go. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go, I think. It's 7. Isn't it the longest or the latest that I've spoken? Like I usually cut the stream or I end the stream by 6 or so. It's 7, but thanks to you, I had a great time. Ooh, I'm getting old, man. I'm like, I just knocking my koshi back, lower back. How come you guys don't have koshi in vocab? Lower back? Is it lower back? We have everything. Atama, kata, hiji. You guys have that. But koshi. Extra yoku hour. Wait. By the way, I don't know what it is, but J Post probably has the nicest employees I have ever met. Ooh? J Post? What is J Post? Japanese post? What? J Post? Nippon Yuben? Nippon Yuben. Perhaps not. They're professionals, right? The kind of people that get that sort of jobs are like post office people, are like decent people, like really good people usually. I think that those types are not like wild. They're wild Japanese and just serious, nice Japanese, you know? Extra yoko hour. Oh no, I'm getting hungry. It's just lower back, right? Right? Interesting. But then the usual level of customer service is really good. What I like about Japan is that everything is thought thoroughly, you know? But what's interesting about our merchandises though, for example, is that like when I look at, I like chocolate, and every time I eat like a little cake or a chocolate, I realize like in the big package inside it, it's like, I mean, chocolate melts, so it doesn't make sense, or candy makes sense because it gets sticky, but depending on the temperature, but still like everything is just wrapped up nicely with a plastic, you know, but you're gonna eat more than one in, you know, one consuming, right? So like, why do you, like, that's a lot of plastic bag inside a plastic bag, which you carry with inside a plastic bag. A lot of plastic bag. If you think about environment seriously. So like, it's the Japanese way of thinking, at least my generation, you know, like when I would go to the restroom in school, for example, it would say like, oh, don't overuse the water. Like try to, you know, cut the, like don't waste it type of slogans, or, you know, there as a poster or a sticker, and like, oh, cherish water. So that's sort of, you know, it's great because we have a society together, and, you know, water is limited resource. So like, and I understand that, but because of that, now when I shower, take a shower, for example, or brush my teeth or something, when I have running water, I feel really, really guilty. as a result of that brainwashing, even though it's basically education, but because I learned that such a in an early time of my life, I'm like, I feel like a bad person by running water, no. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about it. Smaller wheel bag. American post office employees are famous for going postal. Don't look it up, it's not good. What? Going postal? Gotta look it up. I'm always bringing stuff like that to the office so everyone knows they are getting a clean chocolate, I guess. Huh? It's a little plastic, but the thing is it keeps it clean, and I think the intent is to share them with others. Oh, the problem is that I was eating everything by my own. Is that it? Growing up, though, I always thought about getting my food stolen by others, so I'm like, I always hold my bag, This is what I do. Only after I got married with my husband, I learned to open it completely, to just lay everything out and divide. That's my recent thing. But anyway, my husband is, what's the word? 干してる。洗濯物干してる。I don't know how to say that in English. Hanging laundry. And I should join, but it's almost done. The last towel. I gotta go, guys. My husband has been waiting for me. But thank you so much for super chats, guys. It's really helpful. Now I feel more power and energy. It's really, tricky time now to see politics and so on, but at least you guys have interest in what I have to say, or Japan's standpoint and so on. I know that in international relations we have different backgrounds, different culture, or different values and so on, and it's rather hard to agree on things, but it's so nice that you and I have something in common. So thank you so much for being there for me in Japan. Okay. Can you go? Thank you. I'm gonna go this time. Thank you. Next week, come back again too, okay? Let's talk again. Subscribe to my channel and share with your friends and families, and check out my song. Make Russia small again. 生配信お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。また会いましょう。Board up can write Japanese. また会いましょう。Thank you. Really met Tosi? Was it the comment? Oh, you met Tosi. Wow. In Iraq? You were wounded? Or you served too? Wow. Regular soldiers and saw the wounds we suffered in combat. I'm glad she's there in the administration. Oh, that's an important perspective, because her statement about Japan was concerning for Japanese people, but that's important. That's an important aspect. I'm glad you shared that with me. Stories like that are very important. First-hand information is important. Thank you. I'm gonna go. Okay. Have a great night. Sleep well, or have a great day. Okay. Bye.